Welcome back, disc golf fans, to the Back Nine coverage of Round 3 of the 2021 Dynamic Discs Open presented by Dynamic Discs. Brian Earhart here yet again with Nathan Queen. We are seeing some fantastic disc golf.
Yeah, guys out here getting lots of birdies, but still showing the teeth that the Emporia Country Club has, with some bogeys and double bogeys on the card.
And a lot of subtle wind. The winds were definitely down, but just blowing enough to be affecting some of the decisions that these players make. We have Paul McBeth, Chris Dickerson, Zack Johnson, and Kevin Jones. And Zack Johnson is having a fantastic round so far.
Yeah, clean 4 down through the front 9, which is anytime you're clean through the front, that's a good feeling going into the back. You've got 4 par 3s to start, and 3 of them are pretty attackable.
Definitely. And I actually have 3 aces on those holes. So anyway, moving on to hole number 10, 391 feet. OB down the right side. There's a little crosswind that actually does help a little bit.
Yeah, it lets them be able to throw something a bit more stable and just kind of have it float down. This is a bit too far left. He gets through the trees, though, so he should have a circle 2 look.
Yeah, Zach looking to attack this with a little Anheuser.
And this is looking fantastic. Just a little bit of fade here at the end.
Yes. Zach continues to throw the disc really, really well. That was a great soft landing.
Yeah, inside 15 feet. Not much movement once it hit the ground. This needs to stay high enough, but it does look like a good line.
This type of like flat to Annie angle is something that Kevin really used to not do a lot of. So it's really impressive to see him add this shot to his arsenal.
Yeah, and he does get some good carry there. He's up inside the circle as well.
And look at this.
Stabling out just a bit. Misses the last tree and pushes to circle's edge, just to the left side. He should have a pretty good win for that putt there. The limestone laser strikes again.
What a shot. Let's check out this Gatekeeper rewind. Such an athletic putt from Chris. What? Like, that's fantastic. Keeping him in the ball game. That's 2 in a row. 9 and 10. And Paul battles back after the double bogey.
Yeah, Paul able to convert. See if Kevin can correct. He's been struggling just a bit on the green, hitting lots of metal, but not quite dropping it in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, gets it in there, and we're looking at a star frame here. Zach's got about 15 feet.
Zach definitely throwing the best drive of the whole card. You could tell he almost executed it to perfection. And
yeah, and that's a great hole to get the star frame on. Blind off of the tee, and all able to convert for the 2.
And 5 down through 10, looking good.
Yeah, moving on to hole 11, 399 feet. With the wind down like this, it's your fairway driver, just smash righty hyzer, or you could really go up to an 11 speed, up to an actual driver just to get that spike into the ground.
Yeah, and Chris kind of throws, like you said, kind of a lower control driver. Looks like he's pin high. Zach going with a much higher shot. Look at this. He is just feeling it right now.
And that's that higher speed spike that I was talking about. Gets it inside 15 feet yet again. And this could be a bit left. It needs to drop quickly.
Such a common miss on this hole. He's going to have a putt for his par. He did get far enough up there.
And this looks pretty good out of Paul as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a force out of his hand, and that's perfect. Just enough to get in there for 3 in a row for Chris. 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah, that should have been a slight headwind putt there, so he probably expected a little more lift, but converts either way. Kevin to save the par here.
Never feels good to get the bogey on this one.
And Zack with another pretty simple birdie here, making it look pretty easy.
He just doesn't look stressed whatsoever. He's making long putts. He's making short putts. He hasn't had to do anything heroic this round at all. And that's kind of the ticket out here, is not overstretching.
And Paul gets those 2 birdies right back after the double bogey, gets him back on track.
And that's such an important skill to have moving down the stretch of a tournament is, how can you battle back? Moving into number 12, another short par 3, but kind of a technical one. There is a wide hyzer, but a lot of players are playing this really tight flex shot.
Yeah, it's tight flex shot with something very overstable. It kind of fights this left to right wind that they do have here. This doesn't seem to be turned over just enough. And it does sneak through that tree a bit and gets him up to the green.
And Zach's going to go wide forehand.
And this looks good as well. It looks like it's going to make it around that tree. And he's about 20 feet again. He did catch it just a little bit to keep him from parking it.
Paul is going to go flex.
Keeping it real low. If this can sneak underneath the tree.
Great shot from Paul. He didn't even try the flex. He went nose up. He controlled the nose angle instead of the wing.
That is such a hard shot, and he meant to do exactly that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kevin going with the big flex forehand. This is looking great. Definitely got around that tree. Stalls just a bit at the end, but right here for the birdie.
Going spin putt there. There must have been some wind that he...
Yeah, it looks like it's a left to right kind of from the angle that he was at. And definitely not something we're used to seeing from Chris there.
2 really rough-looking putts. Let's see if Zach can stay focused.
No problem. Dead center again.
3 in a row for Zach. 10, 11, 12. We have one more par 3 left in this stretch.
And Kevin's gone far enough off where he's got a tester here to save his par now.
He's going spin putt again.
Yeah, coming off of the straddle.
Gets it. It's another skill that he's been slowly adding to his arsenal over the past few seasons. Just a good way to kind of attack the wind when his kind of nose down push putt doesn't cut it.
What's up, guys? My name is Zack Johnson. I am from Louisville, Kentucky now. Just recently moved there, and I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, Innova Champion Discs, Plastic Addicts, and Whale Sacks. Thank you so much for making everything possible for me this year. If you guys want to help support, you can pick up one of my Tour Series discs that'll be coming out here in the next month or 2. I have an order in, so it should take a little bit to come in, and also I have a bunch of Whale Sacks for sale.
I still remember the first R Pro dart I ever got. I took it to the course, and immediately I knew that it was a disc that was going to make my bag. It's just a disc that feels like it was made for my hands. It feels all I have to do is think about what I want it to do, and it just does it. And that's why I usually carry at least 2 or 3 of them in all the tournaments I play.
Here we are on hole 13. Another around 400-foot par 3, but a little tougher this time. Slightly uphill. There's OB off to the right, and this wind is kind of a headwind. As you can see here, this disc standing up. I do think it's going to come back inbounds.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that is the best shot I've seen on this hole.
He is cruising right now.
Did not quite stand up enough. This is going to be off to the left side. Gets a good small flare there and keeps him with a birdie look.
And Dickerson's a little bit sawed off on the inside.
and gets a big flare. Seems like he does stay in bounds, though.
Kevin threw that with so much hyzer. Look at this thing fight.
He
That's
got
going to be
that
amazing.
To stand up so good, and the wind just got a hold of it and didn't let it go anywhere.
Let's check this out. Let's look at Chris's shot. Chris had one of the more sawed-off shots in the card. Just released it a little too flat, and that wind just kind of picked it up and shoved it.
And a good long bid there. Still keeps it close. Going to have an easy par.
I can't believe Kevin was so short with how hard he threw that shot.
Yeah, once it stood up like that, it seems like the wind just grabbed it and held it back. Paul with a great bid, just hyzering off and falling out the left side. And Zack up here only 12 feet away. I'm not sure. Like I said, I have not seen anybody get this close on this hole.
I have heard of closer. I've heard of Colton Montgomery acing this hole, I believe last year or the year before. An incredible ace to get. But I'm sure Zack is fine with his 4th birdie in a row.
And you cleaning up the pars here. This is the less attackable. I said you started off with the 4 par 3s on the back 9. This is probably the least attackable of the 4. So great birdie from Zack there. Moving us into a great par 4, 751 feet. Another hole where you have 3 gaps or so off of the tee, all fairly tight. You'll see most players go where Zack is going here, kind of down the middle with the flex. There's also off to the right, a righty hyzer line. Those are the most 2 optimal plays here.
Yeah, and Zack puts his in a pretty good spot. He'll have a pretty similar sidearm from where he's at. Paul also going for the forehand.
And he's wanting this to stand up a bit more. It didn't get real far, so he's not going to get pinched off by these trees, but he is kind of in the middle. You'd rather be left or right of that. Now Chris choosing this right side. It is a bit tighter, and it does create a tougher upshot, in my opinion. But he flares off to the left side a little bit, so he may be able to have that sidearm in on the left side.
And what a flick from Kevin. This is a perfect spot. Again, he'll have a pretty similar shot from where he's at there. And Paul's going to throw backhand here. I'm interested to see where he goes.
And having to go low right side, trying to go very stable to keep him from turning OB over the fence, catches a tree, and he's going to have some work to do to get a par.
Look at these decisions that they're making. This is very interesting from Chris and Paul.
Yeah, it's much tougher on the right side, in my opinion. That fence is pretty easy to get to.
Yeah, you have to wonder if there is some wind that they were concerned about. And Zack puts it again inside circle 1, just continuing to give himself chances.
Right around circle's edge there. Kevin gonna see if he can put this one real close. Get underneath those branches. Just catches them. And it looks like he's probably around circle's edge as well.
Not the best looking shot again from Paul.
Oh, and a good grab there to keep him in bounds. He will have a par chance. And a couple times we've seen that from Chris here. It's just hard to trust that there's not that much wind.
Mm-hmm. This is for par for Paul. This is a big putt. And just gets it again. Not the prettiest hole. Look at this rewind. So confident in that release. Low right side.
Just nerves of steel. Didn't throw a good shot on the hole and is able to escape with a par.
It's the mark of a true golfer right there. And there's Kevin with that signature circle 2 putt.
Yeah, that's what we like to see. Jams the birdie, gets back to 22 under.
Let's see if Zack can continue this birdie train. It's about 30 feet.
Still looks confident.
High right side for Zack. He's going to tap in a par. He's just looking so solid right now. So I don't think this is going to ruin any momentum for him.
Yeah, not a bad putt there. Just didn't quite hyzer back in.
Yeah. And a par for Dickerson. 3 pars in a row. And we move into 15, 438-foot downhill par 3. Plays a lot longer than it looks. OB all around the basket. We're going to see some big power hyzers here. It's a tailwind.
Yeah, this is the best play on the hole. Carry it out over this OB on the right, and as long as you have enough hyzer on it, it doesn't really bring it into play. And Kevin just feeding off of the birdie he got on the last hole, make sure he's going to get another one. Zack here been pinpointing these hyzers. This stands up just a bit, but it's still fading pretty well. And gets a good roll again right around 20 feet.
Super balanced on that follow through. It's another one to circle one.
Yeah. Great shots from these guys so far. The wind on this really it does help to have this downhill tailwind.
Yeah, allows the player to even throw a control driver if they want to.
Yeah, and this looks great from Chris as well. It's pushing forward and
Yeah.
right around circle's edge. Yeah, and good correction from the last hole. Has the tailwind there to make sure it's going to drop a little bit. Keeps it high enough. Perfect putt.
And Paul is making a push from this chase card. He's won this event before. This year could be the hardest win yet.
Zack Johnson right there with him. Pushing into the 30s, not even completing 3 rounds yet.
It's just incredible to watch.
And with the star frame again on one of these 400 and something foot par 3s. Moving into hole 16 here, 320 feet.
Headwind.
Yeah, slight headwind here with what you're used to seeing on this hole that doesn't feel like too much today. Kevin going with the spike hyzer, trying to control that distance and maybe catches the tree or just throws it short. He'll be moving to the drop zone.
Ooh, that's got to get a read for Skura.
It can get a water flare. Doesn't quite get what it needs. Another drop zone shot coming up here.
I do really like the change here to encourage more players to go for it.
Yeah, this new tee pad really brings the layup out of play. This looks like it could be fast enough to get that water skip.
Oh, there it is.
And a scary putt back towards the water there. He's just inside the circle, but has successfully landed on probably the toughest island green that we have.
Chris running the ace on this hole. Hitting that back wall is tough. They still have a 35-footer towards the water. And Kevin's just going to get up and down for that bogey.
Yeah, doing what you got to do there. You really don't want to run this. You could catch metal and go OB. Zack, however, does want to run it and just barely misses. Doesn't pay any consequences. He should be able to get his 4.
When you're playing that good, you'll run anything. And there's another birdie from Paul from the wall.
Keeping the nerves of steel together. Drains a putt straight at the OB. Gets another birdie to move to 32 under par.
Wow.
Chris gonna see if he can do the same thing.
Nope, just too low. Paul starting to pull away from this card.
Yeah, 2-stroke swing there on Zack, who was the closest to him.
And just like that.
My name is Kevin Jones. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Kevin Jones. I come out with a new video every Wednesday.
Love getting outside and challenging yourself to become better? How about spending time with family and friends, or just marveling at the pure joy of flight? Then you've come to the right place at the right time. Join the PDGA.
Moving into number 17, 673-foot par 4, low ceiling uphill off the tee, challenging the right side OB is actually a very solid option here.
Yeah, look, you want to make sure that the wind doesn't lift your disc up into these branches here. He stays just below them.
Look at this shot.
This is going to be in a great spot to have a righty hyzer into the green. There's multiple different spots you can land here, and you kind of have a wide array of ways to get to the green, but none of them are really great.
Yeah, not great at all. And forgive me on the distance in the preview. It's 806 feet. A lot tougher of a birdie here. Have to get aggressive on this tee shot.
And this looks like a great line out of Chris as well, carrying so far up there.
Look at that shot. That's way up there. That's over 400 feet, low ceiling. That's exactly what you need. Yeah, that whole right side is OB, so...
And what a great jump forward. He had so much spin on that disc that even though it was low, it just gets a small little hop off of the ground and carries another 120 feet.
He is going to be pleased to see where that lands.
Oh, and this looks high out of Zack. This really needs some help if he's going to stay in bounds.
Sit down. And after the mistake on the island hole, Zack finally throws what looks to be a misfire on the backhand. And he is OB again. He is throwing over all the OB.
And he hits this gap perfectly, it looks like.
Look at this.
That is such a difficult shot. The gap that he hit late in that flight is much tighter than it looked on the screen, and you can't be too high or low.
One step sidearm from Zack. That's a little high. And he's safe. That's not going to be a look for a par save. However, easy up and down for the bogey.
And McBeth having to go high forehand, gets it up a bit too high, doesn't get it turned over, and carries off to the right side. Still a small chance to get the birdie. We know he likes to make those long putts.
And Chris, after smoking his tee shot, is up there in circle one for a birdie look.
Yeah, and Zack just having to pitch up for his bogey. Back-to-back bogeys after a clean round up to that point.
Are we going to see another birdie from Paul?
And just doesn't get the drop. Gives it a chance, though.
And Chris
coming on back
capitalizes.
up there. Getting to 30 under. Gets the birdie on 17.
Par for Paul. He stays at 32. And he is tied for the lead at this point.
And Kevin with a great birdie there. Counteract the bogey on 16 after he started to bring his round back.
And 2 bogeys in a row for Zack.
Still high spirits, though. He knows he's having a good round.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got one more hole to bring it back. Hole 18. You've got a long water carry off of the tee pad. There's a shorter forehand hyzer over to where the drop zone is, or the women's tee pad, which it looks like Chris is going with a backhand over there. It's such a difficult turnover shot, but places it very well, and he's got about a 400-foot hyzer into the pin from there.
Yeah, I feel like over time, this has become the play. All the best players are realizing that trying to throw the aggressive drive to the deep zone is not rewarded sufficiently. The second shot after laying up is still much easier than the second shot if you go aggressive long.
Yeah, and you can see all three of these guys go into a similar area, just trying to simplify the hole.
Yeah, I mean, all the best touring players in the world are not that afraid of a water carry. It doesn't make it that scary of a shot for them. And this second shot is a pretty routine hyzer, as you'll watch Paul.
Yeah, you can see not much in the way there. That tree is not, that is on 16's green. That was not in play. And Chris with a great shot up inside the circle. 20 feet for the birdie to finish.
Let's see if Zack can get up and down here. That looks pretty good. Maybe a little short. Oh, yeah.
Gets a good roll up inside the circle as well. And this is looking off to the left. You don't really want to be up high. It's not a putt that you can comfortably run. And with Kevin's putting today, he's probably not super comfortable with this downhill look here.
Yeah, we'll see if he gives it at least a little safe bid.
He does.
And he's going to be down to... Oh, he went out of bounds.
Gone OB. I am quite surprised that he ran that putt there. Had a chance to get away with the par.
This is Paul McBeth for the solo share of the lead. Oh, and he gets it 33 under par for Paul. What a round.
Yeah, 9 down, carding the hot round for the day. And Kevin, after missing his birdie putt and going OB, is not able to convert on the bogey putt. He'll now be taking a double bogey to finish the round. And Zack, wanting that birdie to finish after a couple bogeys, still has a good round put in, but a bit of a struggle for the finish for him.
And Chris is definitely in the hunt. Hitting this birdie is going to be a big deal for him.
And again, not dead center, and this veteran basket just does not want to hang on to it. It works its way out the backside. Pretty good putt there. We should see that capitalize with a birdie.
Devastating for Dickerson. He will be off the lead card, I believe, because of that putt. But that does mean we will probably be seeing him tomorrow. What a round.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on here. We had some momentum shifts and some bogey-free front, some bogey-free backs, and then some falling apart here at the end.
Just showing that Emporia Country Club is one of the more notorious courses for mistakes on tour.
Yeah, and as you can see here, 3 people tied for the lead going into the last round, with Ricky Wysocki only 1 stroke behind. Looking forward to this exciting finish at Emporia Country Club.
And again, subscribe to Gatekeeper Media on YouTube. Again, I'm Brian Earhart. He's Nathan Queen. We will catch you for the final round coverage.
And we'll see you guys out there.